All right, we're going to talk about tweens today. I've got three major tweens I'm going to cover. This first one is a classic tween where you have a point A and you have a point B. And rather than filling in all of this frame by frame, we're going to let Animate do the work and create a classic tween that will move an object from one area to the other. Second one is going to be a shape tween where you also have point A and point B and sometimes other points as well. But you can see the object is going to change in shape. It can change in color and opacity as well, and location. And then the last one is a motion guide. And that's where you can take an object and set it to a path that you create for it to follow. And so it'd be something like this, where it's not as simple as just creating a simple point A to point B animation. So that is kind of the basics of what we're going to cover today. I'm going to do that here. I'm going to open up my animation to about 2 seconds. And this first one is going to be the classic. I've got my classic here. And I'm just going to start off with the basic shape. And I'm going to use a rectangle. And I'm going to set this rectangle to here. And my other point is going to be, I press F6 at the end of the 2 seconds. The other point is going to be, oops, not that, up here. Now, it's pretty rough right here. I don't want to go through and create frames for every position. Instead, I'm going to right click somewhere in between those two poses and go up to the top and create classic tween. It asks if you want to convert it to a symbol. You say OK. And now it's filled in all of the animation between those two poses. All right, so I'm going to go on to a shape tween. The shape, go to frame 1. I'm going to start off with the same basic shape here. And let's say frame 15, I want it to be a different shape, but I'm going to create a new pose. So I'm going to hit not F6, but F7 to create a blank keyframe. And I'm going to change my shape and color of the shape to something else. I'll draw it up here. Let's say frame 30, I want a different shape, different location. I'll hit F7 again. And I'll create a poly star. Let's look at a star option over here. 11 sides. Let's change color to something else and draw that out. And let's say the last frame 48, we hit F7 again. And this time change it to, let's see, let's try, oops, not another star. Let's try a polygon with 12 sides. And let's do a color that's like that. Okay. So I've got these different poses, different shapes, different colors. Now between the poses, I'm going to right click and create shape tween. And do that between each one. So now Animate will take care of the morphing between the different shapes and colors of objects. That works to a degree. If you tried to morph from like one character to another, the more complicated the drawings, the messier this is going to look. This works easy because it's simple, basic line and color changing. All right, so my next one is going to be motion. So I'm going to create an object with the text tool here. It's just going to say motion. And darker. I want to give this a path to follow. So I'm going to create a new layer. And this is going to be my guide. And that's exactly what I'm going to do is create a guide with just a pencil tool here and draw out a simple path for it. And I'm going to assign this as a guide. So I'm going to right click on that and go to guide. And now it has nothing to guide, though. There's nothing following it. So what I want to do is take this and grab it and drag it up to where it's kind of tucked up underneath that layer that says guide. And when I do that, you can see this little motion path show up right next to that. So the symbol changed, and that tells me it has something now to guide. What I want to do, it's not done yet, is take this and put it towards point A. Let's say this is point A up here. And I want to make sure I'm on frame 1 for point A. Now, once it's there, I'm going to go to Insert, Create Classic Tween. And it says, do you want to make this into a symbol? And I say, yes. And so you see how it snapped to that point there. Now, right here, it doesn't know where to go because it just shows a bunch of dots. And so at the end of this, I'm going to hit F6. I'm going to move this towards the end of the path. So right about there. So now those dots fill in, and now this knows where to go. So now it has all that action and motion that was done with basically just setting 2 points and creating a path for it to follow. So those are our 3 different types of tweens that I'm covering today: classic, shape, and motion. Practice those. They might make things a little bit easier for you in your animation, and we'll see you next time.